this choice align with who I'm becoming or with who I'm done being? I realized that when I stopped obsessing over goals and started focusing on growth, I actually reached my goals faster. Because growth made me better, stronger, smarter. When you chase goals, you measure distance. When you chase growth, you build momentum. Goals are external. They live on your calendar, your to-do list, your vision board. Growth is internal. It lives in your mindset, your habits, your character. Most people focus on the finish line and forget the training. They want the promotion, the body, the launch, but they skip the process that creates it. That's why step number 3 is create a system, not a wish list. Structure is the real secret behind success. Every dream has 2 parts, intention and infrastructure. You can't manifest a podcast without a recording schedule. You can't build a business without product testing. You can't get fit without consistent sleep and nutrition. James Clear's research shows that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. If you want to start a business, create a 30-minute daily idea lab where you brainstorm, test, and learn something new about your industry. If you want to lose weight, don't aim for perfection, aim for consistency. Start with 3 workouts a week and track progress, not perfection. You want to launch a podcast? Record 1 5-minute solo episode per week. Make it a ritual, not a result. Manifestation only works when your calendar matches your calling. Manifestation doesn't work when you're asking for something your habits contradict. It doesn't work if you only visualize the outcome but avoid the process. Manifestation doesn't work when you're waiting for signs instead of building systems. It doesn't work if you want change but refuse to change. It doesn't work when you speak the affirmation but live the opposite. Manifestation doesn't work if your belief expires the moment things get uncomfortable. And it doesn't work when you expect the universe to do what discipline is meant to do. It doesn't work if you're manifesting from fear, not faith, trying to control instead of create. Manifestation works when you match intention with infrastructure. Step number 4, upgrade your environment, because discipline is easier when you don't fight your surroundings. If you're trying to get off sugar, but every snack in your cupboard is full of sugar, you're now testing yourself. If you want to get off sodas, but your refrigerator is full of sodas, you're now testing yourself. If you want to work out, but you haven't found the right gym that's easy to get to or the right workout plan, you're testing yourself. We don't fail because we don't care. We fail because we're constantly testing ourselves. We're making things harder. We're making it harder to feel motivated. We're making it harder to stick to our boundaries. We're making it harder to stick to our own rules. Behavioral science shows that 45% of our actions are habitual and triggered by environment, not motivation. Follow this one thing and you'll reach your goal. If your goal is to eat better, start with your kitchen. If your goal is to focus, put away your phone. If your goal is to save money, start with your spending triggers. If your goal is to build confidence, start with your self-talk. If your goal is to find love, start with your boundaries. If your goal is to grow your business, start with your calendar. If your goal is to heal, start with your habits. If your goal is to be happier, start with your attention. Because change doesn't begin with a goal. It begins with your environment. You don't need more willpower, you need fewer friction points. Success isn't about trying harder, it's about designing smarter. If your environment is full of noise, you'll forget what your own voice sounds like. If your environment is filled with clutter, your mind will mirror the mess. If your environment is built on chaos, peace will always feel like a luxury. If your environment is full of doubt, confidence won't survive there. If your environment is small, your vision will start to shrink to fit it. If your environment is lifeless, your motivation will follow. There's a reason why the phrase, "you are a product of your environment," is so well known, because it's true. If you're surrounded by books, you'll read books. If you're surrounded by screens, you'll be distracted. That's how it works. That's how the brain works. And then you're forcing yourself, pushing yourself, driving yourself, and which maybe you'll do for 3 days if you're lucky, maybe 3 weeks if you're really lucky. But you're always working against yourself.